It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day, and again, welcome to County-Wide. I'm Brad Miller, and we're so happy to welcome into studio today a guest, Pamela Barton. Pamela is the founder, executive director of Home for New Beginnings, and the website is homefornewbeginnings.com if you'd like to even maybe look at that while we are chatting with Pam. That's home, and then the numeral 4, and then newbeginnings.com. Pamela Barton, welcome to the studio. Hello.
Good morning.
Good.
It's wonderful to be here.
Good to have you come and visit with us, and I want to talk now. I met you through my tummy. I'm calling you the pie lady.
And that's okay.
And those kinds of things, Divine Pies is how we first kind of met up at an event, and we got chatting. And then we found, boy, there's a big story that you are here to share with us today about Divine Pies and what kind of drives that, but more importantly, what drives you to be involved to put together Home for New Beginnings and what it is. So can we start there?
Sure.
How did that start? What's your story?
Well, I was a CASA for many years, court-appointed special advocate for children.
Sure.
And I did that for about 7 years. And I had some pretty tough cases here in the Verde Valley with children in the foster care system.
Okay.
And the CASA is a court-appointed advocate for the foster children.
Right.
So I really got a good look at how bad the system is and how it's been failing our children.
Yeah.
And I was just watching them getting pulled out of the homes and sleeping on the floors of offices and, no placement for them.
Yeah.
So I thought we need homes for kids. And we started in 2016, put together a nonprofit with the vision of having homes for underage children.
Okay.
Without parents.
Minor children.
All the parents are in jail, most of them.
Yeah.
And these minor children go into foster care. They get split up. The group homes are overcrowded. They're not very nice at all. I've seen a number of them.
Yeah.
And it's just real sad what's going on with our younger children. And so we started this, and we came upon Sunshine Acres, which is in Mesa, Arizona. And it's an incredible group home for children. And we decided at that time that that's who we wanted to model after.
Okay.
But they've been around since 1954.
Oh.
So
wow.
They've been around a long time, very successful. 10 homes, and I'm talking group homes for children.
Okay.
But most group homes are jails, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we started in 2016 and have been going along, trying to bring the awareness of the problem is what we do mostly. And then in 2020, right when COVID hit, January, we got a grant from United Way to start our social enterprise, which is pies. So we started Divine Pies.
Okay.
And that is our income, to keep our nonprofit going. It's like a thrift store.
Yeah.
But we have pies.
Yeah.
And I've had a catering business for many years in Sedona. And we thought that would be easy, so we started baking pies. Well, COVID, of course, closed everything down.
Right.
And we were blessed, though. We started doing farmers markets because it was an essential business. And we did very well that first year, put a good amount of money in our capital gains account. And we survived COVID. And we've been doing farmers markets ever since. And we have a pie trailer that we take to all the farmers markets. And now we have a location in Camp Verde with our bakery and that storefront.
Gotcha.
You'll have to come visit us.
Yeah, in Camp Verde.
We're over there on Howard's Road by Ruby Road.
Okay.
Anyway, so we, our goal, and we never want to forget our goal is to build homes for children, not to bake pies and make everybody happy with pies.
Right. Well, it's nice that it works hand in hand. I mean, you picked a really nice kind of little 1-2 punch. We talk to an awful lot of nonprofits in here, and fundraising is always the trickiest part. Even grants do come with those kinds of stipulations that you talked about. What a creative way to do it.
Well, and we do fundraisers. We have one coming up in April, a big one.
Right.
And we've been doing those all along. We've had mystery dinners, you name it. That comes with a nonprofit. You have to have events. You have to write grants. And so we were blessed also with an AmeriCorps person when we got that grant from United Way.
Okay.
And when she started working with us, we developed a program called Farm to Table. And we needed to involve kids because we don't have the homes yet. It takes a lot of money to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
So everybody understands.
Right.
And we do desperately need donors. We do need people to give us property, help us with these homes, because it's multi-million dollars that we're talking about.
Right.
And most people don't think about homes for kids, but it's not as easy as opening up an assisted living, or anything for adults is easy.
Okay.
Children is a whole different story.
Okay.
You fall under Article 74, which is about 2 inches thick. Got a lot of regulations when you have minor children.
Sure.
So it's not open. You just can't go get a home anywhere.
Yeah.
So, we need the donors. We need people with a heart to do this. It does take the people that have hearts to want to help our children.
Right.
And so we're always searching for that. But anyway, we started the Farm to Table program, and we didn't have any place to do it at the time. Our kitchen at that time was at the school in Rimrock. So we wrote this program, and then I met the girl at the library in Camp Verde, and we started our Farm to Table program, and we teach cooking classes to children.
Yeah, I saw that on your website.
And we have a community garden for children.
Yeah.
And we've had that now for about 3 years. We've had more than 400 children go through our school.
Wow.
Which is very awesome. It's been very successful. And now we, to make our nonprofit workable and for us to get our tax credit, we have to have kids involved. So that's what we've been working on. We're real close to applying for the tax credit.
Right.
And anyway, it's all a procedure.
I saw all of that information on the website. I took a real good look there. There's some real clear definitions of what it is you do.
Good.
On the website. I want to read to you just a little piece of the mission statement that I saw in there. Regardless of the reason that put the kids into this situation, meaning without a parent at home, they deserve a home to break the cycle of poverty that they may live in. When we talk about coming through the courts, the CASA that you talked about, and you saw it, that's got to be a bird's eye view of some of the things that kind of happen there. Everybody in the involved, I think, means well, but getting it done so that it benefits the child the best is so much more harder than than comes to meet the eye. That's what you're talking about, and that's where you saw a need.
Well, it's a big project.
Yeah.
And,
human beings. Right. Children.
And, it is coming to more awareness now about the need for the children. I mean, they've been losing children. You just watch the news.
Yeah.
And it all, sex trafficking. Everybody talks about sex trafficking. We're preventative. We want to get the kids before they get out on the streets.
Right.
And when kids turn 13, 14 years old and they're placed in a foster home, they tend to run, then they get put in the system. And, I had a real bad case, and the girl is still in prison until she's 27 years old because she got her felonies while in the system. So anyway, it's pretty messed up, the whole thing.
Right.
But it is all about the kids. Let's give them a good start. We want to keep them local. There are no group homes in northern Arizona. None. So we would like to have a real good place to have the kids. They can go to the same schools. And, another big problem is it's generational. And these kids that, their parents go to jail, they try to put them with the grandparents.
Right.
Well, the grandparents are barely taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a real problem, So if they have a good, solid home to stay in, and these homes, we would have actually house parents that live in the homes with the children.
Right.
And we're actually going to Sunshine Acres on March 30th to their open house, and we invite anybody to come to take a look at that model of what we want to do, because it's an incredible place.
That's great.
And it's a forever home. Also, when kids are in the system, when they're 18, they're cut loose.
Yeah.
And that's when they go out on the streets.
And so you're able to keep like siblings together, ideally.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
That's I know that can really be a devastating thing.
It is. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And then, the grandparents are there, families there, their schools are there. They're still part of the community.
Right.
But they have a home.
Yeah.
So that's our mission and our goal. And, we're faith-based. So, I do know it's going to happen in the right time.
Pamela Barton is the executive director, Home for New Beginnings. And again, the website is and that's the numeral 4, homefornewbeginnings.com. Take a look. I did. There's some really good information on there. It'll flesh out some of the things that Pam is talking about on the program here today. And can they use you? You bet. We'll talk about some of the volunteers and how the wheels turn on Home for New Beginnings when we come back to Countywide right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back to the program. It's Countywide. I'm Brad Miller, and Pamela Barton is here. And Pamela is executive director and founder of the Home for New Beginnings. And locally, based kind of out of the Camp Verde area, Divine Pies is a part of this. It's been going now successfully for some time. So you've really got something built and continuing to build, but you're not done.
Oh, no.
Volunteers, I would think, would be a really important part of what you do. Do you have enough? What does it take? If I'm interested, I've heard what you talked about so far, and I'm inspired. How do I get a hold of you, and how do I find out if I can help?
Well, like you mentioned, our website. If you do go on our website, we have everything on there.
Sure.
And you can even fill out a participation form. But, we have the Farm to Table, which is a cooking class that we give to children, to the first and second Wednesday of the month at the library at 4 o'clock. They're free. Anybody can bring their kids. You sign up through the library. We always need volunteers to help with that cooking class.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then on the third week of the month, we do the garden. And we've had a wonderful person donate the property for us. And we've got a great garden. So the kids go get their hands dirty, learn how to grow their food and cook it. And what we saw during the COVID was there's a lot of food that is provided to families. You will not go hungry here in the Verde Valley. But nobody knows how to cook it. So we decided to teach our kids how to cook it, and it's really a great class. So we need volunteers in those areas anytime. And we have a few very dedicated bakers that have been with us now for a couple years, volunteering their time to come and bake with us. But anybody can come and bake. We also do farmers markets. We're going to be doing Cornville, Munns Park, Flagstaff, and Prescott.
Wow, okay.
So we're busy.
You're getting around.
Well, we get busy. We have a mobile pie business, if
Right.
you've seen our trailer.
Yeah.
And that was sponsored by Jones Ford. Put a punch in for him. He's been a great sponsor of what we're doing.
Great.
But anyway, we take our pies everywhere.
Yeah.
And so we bake a lot.
That's how we bumped into you for the first time. First time I saw about you and what you do was at the Touch a Truck event in Camp Verde
That's
here
right.
a few months ago. It's up close and personal, exactly what it's about. We thought, pies, that's just great. Then we got chatting a little bit, and here you are today sharing your very compelling story. When it comes to, the adults, you talked about group home and getting that and toward that goal and getting all those things in place. When it comes time for volunteers to be part of that, are they volunteers? Or I know when you deal with children directly, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to need to be done. Would someone need experience in that type of field?
Well, it's a huge project.
Yes.
And when
big.
When somebody gives us a few $1 million to start building these homes, that plan is all going to come together, and it's very regulated. Everybody has to be vetted.
Right.
And, it's a big process.
And it should be.
But that's what's wonderful about partnering or being part of Sunshine Acres, which we have been very supportive of us on how to do this. But, it's real hard to do kids.
Yeah.
And the vetting is very important. That's why they don't franchise out, because anything can happen and everything gets closed down. Kids is just a whole different story.
Right.
Maybe I should have done assisted living homes. Anyway, the kids need us the most.
But we understand that. I mean, it's unfortunate and sad, but true. In today's world, you've got to be very, very careful about those kinds of things. Anytime there's interactions between children and adults who do not previously know them, and sometimes even those who do. And that's where we find it's hard. When you started talking in that first segment, I was just thinking, gosh, there's just no winners here. And that's the thing you're trying to do. The parents, whatever kind of trouble they have found themselves in, you said typically they're going to be incarcerated. That's how the kids get separated. And it's the kids, arguably, who are going to suffer way more than the parents are.
Yep.
It seems to me, especially, as you've said, those youngsters, they don't understand.
No. And, to think about it being generational, we're like 3 generations into that problem.
Yeah.
So, they just need some help. Everybody, this morning on my way in here, I saw a homeless man with a blanket walking down the street, and I just thought, God, there's kids out there doing the same thing. Everybody needs a home.
Yeah, we just don't see that.
With Mama cooking in the kitchen, that was my vision.
Do the courts? I'm kind of bouncing back to your prior experience. Are the courts aware of this, and are their hands tied to kind of what they can do?
Well, that's a big question.
I mean, that's kind of a whole different show. I understand, but
there's 20,000 children in the foster care system right now in Arizona.
Okay.
There's only 5,000 foster homes.
Do the math.
Right. And try to figure out where they're at.
Right.
It's hard to even find all of that information. But anyway, it's a huge problem, and everybody knows it. And everybody knows the problem.
That's what I mean. It's like nobody wins. It's just,
and everybody just says, "Oh, that's too bad. Good luck."
Well, everybody.
But that's why we need everybody to help us.
Everybody but you.
We need people to help us get this vision real.
Let's talk a little bit here. The Nailed It mini golf tournament is a fundraiser for Home for New Beginnings, and this is coming up late next month.
April 26th.
26th of April. This is what? Sounds like a fun thing.
Well, it's a real cool thing. We did it last year, was our first year, and we have companies and businesses or families build a golf hole. It's a portable golf hole. They load it on a truck. They bring it to the Camp Verde Park there. We have a huge area. We had 8 holes last year. And then they play miniature golf. And we have, some food. We're going to have hot dogs and coffee and pie and everything else, a bouncy house. But the kids all play golf.
Sure.
But the people that are involved this year, it's a competition amongst these guys. We have APS, Jones Ford, Brewer Excavating, who won last year, Integrity Auto, Rainbow Acres. I'm forgetting some. But anyway, we're getting people to build holes and bring them, and then we make a miniature golf course for children.
That's cool.
It is very cool.
I've never even heard of that. That is really, I could just see the creativity that people can bring to this and what fun that must be.
It is. And Brewer last year brought this huge one. They're really getting into this year. Of course, APS is going to be lit up. Oh, D&O Crane is another one.
Cool.
So we have a lot of great sponsors and need more, of course. If you want to build a golf hole, get a hold of us.
Coming up on April 26th. And again, the public clearly is invited to be part of this.
Yep, it's just $5 to get in, and you play golf. It's just a fun day for kids.
That sounds like
and
a
it's our
riot.
fundraiser.
Yeah, well, and that's the most important part. It's all going to a terrific cause, the homefornewbeginnings.com. I keep saying .com because I'd like you to look at that website. It's very comprehensive and great information there. Most importantly on there, you'll find how you can become a part of it, so whether through volunteerism, whether through financial resources, whatever something might catch your eye and capture your heart as you take a look and listen to Pam here on the Countywide this morning. We'll take a short break, and we're back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We come back, our final segment on Countywide today. Pamela Barton is the executive director, Home for New Beginnings, and I say .com so you can take a look at the website. That's a good catch-all. You can go there and find some information. But Pamela, before that, is there a phone number? How can people reach out if they want to volunteer, maybe pledge a resource, pledge some of their time, whatever it is? How do they get in touch with you and your organization?
Well, certainly the best place, like he said, is our website.
Great.
It's got participation surveys, anything you want to do, to donate as well. But call us at 928-248-3434. And we also, we have a storefront and a bakery, and we
Right.
serve sandwiches and stuff like that. So you might get, when you call, you might get us there at the store.
Okay.
But anyway, please get in touch with us. Email us, Home for New Beginnings.
And get your sticks ready for the Nailed It Mini Golf Tournament.
Yes, come and play golf.
That's going to be just a hoot. There'll be some great photos coming out of that.
Yeah.
I can just see it. People making different golf holes and then bringing them all together, making a course. The kids play, the adults play, and everybody has a great time. And it is a fundraiser.
Well, we might have to have KVRD come there.
Well, you just might. HomeForNewBeginnings.com. The Nailed It Mini Golf Tournament is April 26th, 10 to 2, Camp Verde Community Field in Camp Verde. Pamela Barton's the executive director, HomeForNewBeginnings.com. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.